Hi everyone, Ryan here from Fight Game Analysis, and today we're going to be talking about the upcoming fight between Michael Chandler and Tony Ferguson. But before we jump into that, if you've been enjoying the content, please go ahead and click on the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate your support. Alright, so it just recently got announced we are going to see a fight coming up between Michael Chandler and Tony Ferguson. Now look, I got to be honest with you guys, when I saw this one get announced, I do not like it. Not at all. I'm a fan of both men. As a matter of fact, I've been a fan of Tony Ferguson for a long time. Back when he was going through his whole, what was it, 12 fight win streak, 13 fight win streak, something crazy. You know, the 4 or 5 canceled fights with Khabib, all that. Been a fan of the man forever. Love the way he goes about his business, just his style and his personality. Completely unafraid to be unique and be himself. You know, I love all of those things about him. Love watching him fight, all of that stuff. But dude, his time has passed. He has taken some real punishment in the last few fights, particularly against Justin Gaethje. You know, Tony Ferguson is one of those examples of a guy, you know, he appears to get old overnight. It catches up with you all at once. Right? And that's not really the case. Once you saw him in that fight with Justin Gaethje, you saw those nasty right hands that he was taking over and over and over. You saw the leg kicks that he was taking. You saw the way that he was getting beat up. Now, you go back and you look at his past fights, even the ones that he was winning, and you can see that he was taking a lot of punishment in there, too. You can see that he was taking a lot of shots. You can see that he was taking, just absorbing a lot of punishment. You know, and as the great boxing trainer Teddy Atlas says, it's not, a fighter's age is not determined by the number on his birth certificate. A fighter's age is determined by the amount of punishment he's taking. So all through those fights, all through those wins, Tony Ferguson was racking up some punishment, man. He was getting older. In the sense of, in a fighting sense. And then he goes in there and he fights a world-class man like Justin Gaethje, who not only is he a world-class fighter in every sense of the word, training camp, trainer, all those kinds of things, 100% prepared at his prime, but it was just also that perfect moment when Tony Ferguson was heading downhill, man. And it was a train wreck when those two collided. You go back and you watch that fight, he absorbed a lot. Tough as nails, able to overcome it all. As a matter of fact, even when he took that last shot, he didn't quit. You know, the fight was stopped. But it was after that, man, after that fight that I was pretty sure that the blueprint was out there on him and it wasn't going to be good. So then you see him, 2 more losses. Charles Oliveira and Beneil Dariush. Right? And now they're going to put him in there against a killer like Michael Chandler, man. I mean, come on. Come on. Look at back when Tony Ferguson was at his prime. What was he doing? Was he ever defensively responsible? No, never. He was always getting caught with stuff. The thing was, he was very innovative, so he was able to beat his opponent up more. He had phenomenal cardio. So he put a pace on dudes and a work rate that just got him out of there. They weren't able to keep up, man. He broke their will. They didn't want to be in there with him anymore, and he just physically beat them up. Coming forward, always in your face, just kicks and punches and knees and elbows, and he'll take you down and beat you up. He's got crazy submissions and stuff. Black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from 10th line. So he's well-rounded fighter, but never defensively responsible. He was always there to be hit. You just always had to be willing to deal with what was coming back. And if you couldn't handle that, then he was going to steamroll you. And that was the story in a lot of those fights. But it wasn't the story with Justin Gaethje. And it wasn't, and I don't think it's going to be the story anymore. You know, let's be honest with each other. Who's the only undefeated fighter in all of combat sports forever? Father Time. Father Time gets you all. 38 years old. Tony Ferguson's 38 years old, man. So not only is he physically up there, but you look at all the training camps and all the sparring, and if we're asking the real tough questions, how smart do you think Tony Ferguson has been over the years with his sparring? I mean, we've seen the training videos, dude, where this dude puts himself in these crazy positions, lifting up tires, and his back's all arched and bent. And you're like, oh my man, he's gonna blow out 4 discs. He's gonna hurt his neck. It just looks insane, right? Because he's a wild man. It's part of what makes him special. That part of what breaks him down. It's both his strength and his weakness now. So how smart do you think he was with his sparring? I bet you, man, he was getting caught with a lot of shots. Telling himself that's how you get tough. That's how you build it up. You just got to deal with it. That's part of the life and the grind. You're a fighter. Okay. But now that you're up there in age, those things start to catch up with you. And he's not old for a person on the streets at 38, but that's old for a fighter. Right? I mean, and he's going in there against Chandler. Like Tony Ferguson has this great wrestling background. Yeah, well, so does Michael Chandler. He's got a lower center of gravity. He's a little bit younger. He's more athletic at this point in his career. I believe he's probably stronger. Body able to recover better and get ready. Those weight cuts have never been easy for Tony Ferguson. They don't get easier as you get older. So you think he's going to be able to take Chandler down? You think he's going to be able to overpower him, get him in a clinch and do something? Doubt it. And oh, by the way, Michael Chandler's got a nasty right hand. The same thing that we saw breaking Tony Ferguson down in these previous fights. I just don't want to see Tony take that punishment, man. I find it hard to believe that this one doesn't end with dude just catching a lot of shots with a lot of punishment. So in that sense, I'm not looking forward to it. But I'm always looking forward to seeing both men fight. I'm always looking forward to seeing what they both bring. I just wish that when Tony was still going out here fighting, if that's what he decides to do, because he's, in my opinion, if I was advising him, I'd say, maybe it's the time to hang it up. But either way, I wouldn't want to see him in there against a guy like this, against a guy who it's going to be very difficult to deal with him, because Chandler brings it all. Look at what he's done in his past fights. Goes out there, showcases the power, and what he does to Dan Hooker in his UFC debut. And even though he didn't win against Cagey, look at all those shots that he landed, man. Look at how he had the champ, Charles Oliveira, in trouble with what he was doing. Fast hands, good footwork, training at a world-class gym, very good power, knows how to get his shots off, knows how to get into and out of position. Man, he gets caught with plenty of shots too. He's not a defensively responsible guy. But is this a fight with Tony Ferguson where that's going to come into play? Is this a fight where he needs to worry about being defensively responsible? Or is he going to be able to use the old Tony Ferguson blueprint? Like Ferguson just used to come out there and just put it on dudes. And if you couldn't deal with it, he would steamroll you. What if Michael Chandler takes that route? Says, man, we know he's a fan-friendly fighter. We know that he's always concerned with putting on a good show. What if he comes out there and just points at the ground in the middle of the octagon, Max Holloway style, and says, I'm going to meet you right here and let's do it, and just starts throwing bombs? Is Tony Ferguson going to be able to say no? Is he going to be able to make it through that? Man. So, off the top of my head, Michael Chandler wins this one. And I think he wins it in devastating fashion. We'll see how it goes as things get a little bit closer. I'll start to break some stuff down. Hopefully we'll see some footage. Maybe we'll get an idea of Tony Ferguson coming out with a new game plan, coming out with something else. But it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. The man's been fighting how he's been fighting his whole career. So let me know what you guys think. Am I underestimating what Tony brings to the table? Or do you kind of see it the way I do? Been a big fan of his for a while and don't want to see him take any more punishment. Let me know what you guys think.